Hey guys, so this is your friend the Lean Programmer, and today we are going to discuss about open source, and we have a very special guest, Mrityunjay. So today's episode is going to be very exciting, and I just want to make one announcement. This is going to be the final episode of this season. So we are going to be back very soon, maybe in a couple of months or maybe after that. But yes, so before going forward, I want to appreciate my team. So Bharti, who is here with us today, and Khushbu, Sakshi, and Arpita. So we were a team of five people who took this initiative. I just started this initiative, and everything was managed by these four girls, and I'm super proud of them. So I really thank all of them for the hard work and everything they have done for this initiative. And many people have gained so much knowledge from the webinars, especially from the design webinars which we took initially, and so on. So today's going session is going to be really exciting. And thanks a lot once more, Sakshi, Arpita, Khushbu, and Bharti. You guys are doing great, and keep doing these great things for the community. So yes, over to you, Bharti. And one more thing, this link here, you can go to this link to find slides for today's PPT, like for today's session, which are made by Mrityunjay. So this is bit.ly/webm talk. So over to you, Bharti.
Thank you so much, Madhav. It's learning from the best. So, hi everybody, and welcome to this sixth episode of Web Mentor webinar series. I am really happy to announce and introduce the speaker of the day, Mrityunjay Sharma. So, Mrityunjay is an open source enthusiast, lover, and has contributed to GSoC 2020. He is a Smart India Hackathon 20 winner and the recipient of Lift Scholarship 2020. He's not only a tech enthusiast, but he's also a lovely person and an active blogger and a poetry lover. So we're really happy to have you here, Mrityunjay, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation and being the speaker for the day. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Bharti, for such a kind introduction. And thank you so much to Madhav and to your entire team for this spectacular job that you all are doing, empowering community, empowering people, empowering students like me who are getting this opportunity to not only speak, but also learn from you and from the listeners who are right now listening us. For me, what matters the most is that each and every process that we do, we need to learn something from that process. And this entire process, whether your invitation, whether this talk, everything has been that kind of an experience for me. So thank you so much, Bharti. Thank you so much to the entire Web Mentor team. Thank you so much to the listeners for joining us. And so now, not wasting any more time, let's start with the talk. And why we are here for discussing about introduction to open source world, and why I feel that it's not just about Google Summer of Code, because everybody these days you ask or you listen or you see on LinkedIn or Twitter, most of the students are right now interested in two things, Oktoberfest or Google Summer of Code, especially Google Summer of Code. And why not? It's such a prestigious thing that everybody is interested in and everybody wants to do it. So let's discuss about it. I'm going to share the screen, and if it is visible, kindly give me a prompt or just write a comment that it is visible. Wait a minute, just please give me a minute. Thank you so much. I hope the screen is visible. Uh, and yes, I think the screen is visible. Okay. So let's begin. What is the talk about? The talk is about introduction to open source world and why it's not just Google Summer of Code. So before beginning the talk, I hope that all of you are doing good. I hope the health of your as well as your family is fine and is in good shape. And I will request you that please take care of your health. The times are tough, and but you are all tougher. So you all must take care of your health. If you are going out, wear the mask properly. And now, what is this talk about? Before this talk begins, let me introduce you to myself. What am I? I'm a third year computer science engineering student at JSS Academy of Technical Education, Noida. It's, uh, I think, you can call it a tier 3 college, but for me, it has been a learning experience here. It has been a great experience here. It is the students who make the college, not the otherwise. That is what my personal opinion is. So people say that college matters, and of course college matters, but what matters more is the student. 75% what matters is the student's own perception, students own skills, students own mindset. That matters more. And so I proudly call myself that I am a JSS Academy of Technical Education Noida student, and I'm proud of it. The next introduction, I think Bharti already gave, that I have been a Google Summer of Code student developer at RTMS. RTMS is a very nice and very helpful organization, I would say, because the code base is huge of RTMS. It is very large. It is a very you know involved in depth space technologies kind of organization. So the code base is difficult to understand as well, but that is what the essence of this talk will be. Why you should not be afraid of even difficult code bases, even code bases which you seem that they are very heavy, which they are big. You should not be afraid of them. I'm going to tell more about that in the talk later. As well as I'm also a Smart India Hackathon winner that happened recently, and it was a great opportunity. Winning and losing is a different thing, but what happened during the process, the entire process of 3 days of brainstorming, it was a virtual hackathon this time, interacting with the mentors, interacting with the people in that uh, the college that managed the thing, the hosted the Smart India Hackathon. So everything was a nice experience. It was a learning experience. It was a winning was just a byproduct of it when you are learning things. So that was all the three namesake things, I would say. These things are temporary. What is what matters the most is that we should be a learner. So I am a learner first and foremost. So that is the thing that I feel that we at times miss. We are in a world of competition. We are in a world where know-it-all attitude kind of people are also given very importance. But this talk and what we are going to talk about today will be majorly about this attitude called learning. We should learn things, and that is what introduces me the best. And the fourth thing that you see here, that is the thing that I prefer to be called out the most. I'm a learner. And after all these times, I also find times to write some poems and some short stories. And in fact, I am writing a book. I am writing a book, and most probably it will be published in 2022 or by 2022. I hope to publish it. It is a poet. It is a mix of poetry and short stories. So I hope you will all like it. But that is a later thing. Now let's move ahead. The main point of a talk. What is open source? That is a question that was actually striking me as well when I was in first year in my college. The first year of my college, I prefer to tell stories. In the form of stories you can relate with. So I will be telling you my story, and I hope that will give you an introduction how open source and what open source meant to me. So it happened like this, that I joined my college, and because of course it was not my dream college. I also wanted to be an IIT or an IT like everyone preparing at that time. So I joined JSS Academy. And the first year I was being introduced to big terms, like you have to get an internship, you have to do projects, you have to contribute to open source, you have to learn machine learning, you have to learn falana dhamaka, everything. हर जगह से ज्ञान आ रहा था. Everybody was giving his or her opinion. So yes, I was actually perplexed. वो क्या रहा है, what is happening? And slowly and slowly it took over me. All of those things took over me, and then there were also people with negative mindset that where have you come? I mean, what kind of college is this? Start preparing for JEE Main again, give JEE Main again, you will crack. You will get an NIT, go into an IT. Even some of the professors in the first years would, I will not like to name them, but some of them said that this college is not for you, go ahead and try again, prepare for JEE main. So that kind of competitive mindset was not going. Competitive mindset in a limited way is a good thing, but what was happening was creation of a rat race actually at that time. And person who has been good in studies, and if he doesn't get a good college, then that person has a little bit of grief in his heart. So it happened with me as well. I didn't know, I had no idea. In the first year, I did not do anything good, you can say, as far as coding is concerned, as far as computer science is concerned, because I was again stretched back to the JEE main thing. In fact, I will tell you out here. I think most of the people don't know about it. Let me share it with you here for the first time. I think I'm sharing it with it publicly. That in fact I prepared for mains again. Yeah, I prepared for mains again. I started preparing in September after joining my college. So I started preparing for J mains again. I thought let's try it out. Let's try it out and let's do it. But slowly and slowly I became overwhelmed because 2 years of hard work and then you still have to prepare the same thing. I got bored. I was overwhelmed. It started in September, the preparation again. I started the preparation and it went till December. I became bored. I gave mains, but and the results also came and they were literally better. But I still prefer that I should not take a drop this time. I did not took I did not take a drop. Decided that it's okay. It's ended. I have to come out of this. I have to come out of this depressing hole that I'm going to. I have to come out of this. I have to create my own identity. I have to create and I have to learn. And I have to learn in this particular field itself called computer science engineering. The past is dead. What is now is the present. Okay. So all these things shaped up, and later on I started exploring. I had no guide like this, like we are having a talk. I did not get introduced to something like this. So it was basically a self exploration. I just went to Google, tried to do something that was extraordinary, that can actually help me come out of this deep hole that I was going to. So I applied for Linux Foundation scholarship that was happening in open source. That was actually because of that was actually an open source summit that was happening in Lyon in Europe 2019. So I applied, and that application doesn't demanded much. It demanded an essay, demanded your previous open source contributions, it demanded how passionate you are. So I wrote an essay, and I had a very small open source contribution, what you can call uh, my own project that I made for an internship in Lucknow Metro Railway Corporation. So I just gave that project. I wrote an essay. The essay was definitely very good. It showed my interest. It showed my passion, and how eager I am to learn about open source. So open source communities. I'm coming to the meaning part. What is open source? It's interesting. That's why I have taken up this. So what open source was to me was introduced not to me here through the internet, but through that event that happened. So I think you can call it luck, you can call it whatever you wish to call it. I was selected as a scholarship recipient. I got an opportunity to go to Lyon open source at an open source summit, and open source Lyon summit was a watershed moment for me, because best of the best people from open source community were there. If I think that opportunity has given me an opportunity to tell you today the meaning of open source in a very simple way that I'm going to tell now. Open source, in one word, if I have to define, is all about acceptance, is all about inclusion. I think I've spoken two words, but open source means acceptance. If you are coming, if you are willing to join, if you are willing to learn, you will be accepted. And it's not just about one program, whether it's Google Summer of Code or whether it's any other program. There are many other programs which we are going to discuss about. Even for an organization, any project that you are willing to contribute to, if you are thinking that I am a person who knows nothing about open source, I am a person who is a learner, I am a person who is still not aware of his own skills or her own skills, then it's perfectly fine. There's no problem in it. Open source is all about this. Open source is all about introducing the technologies to more and more people. If you bifurcate this word, open source, so you know projects. We are talking about projects here, but we are not just talking about projects. We are also talking about communities. Projects is important, but these days community is more important. Community that revolves around that project. Okay, so what is the purpose of this community? What is the purpose of this community? The purpose of this community is to introduce people like you and me who are absolutely new and beginner to this open source project, to help them out, get started with what it is, to help them understand the code base, to help them understand the documentation, to help them understand everything that is about open source. So what is open source? Open source is open. It's open. What it means is simply, it's in literal meaning. It's open, and it's open, and it's for everyone. You are the source of it. You are the source of it. If you are contributing, you are the source of that project. You have contributed to that project. You owe to that project. That project owes to you, and you owe to that project. It's a both way process. So open source in simple way is actually something that helps you in that is more about inclusion. It brings you in. No matter what your skills are, even if you're a beginner, even if you don't know to code, come join in. I'm going to show you an example that a person who has contributed to my own project, uh, and it did not require even a single line of code. She's a designer. She is good in designing, and she helped in contributing. So open source is not just about coding, that you need to know coding. Even if you are good in communication skills, even if you are good in writing skills, even if you are good in designing, you can contribute to open source. So keep this thing out of your mind that I am a beginner, I don't know anything, and I cannot contribute to open source. That is the first thing that you need to forget about open source, that you need to forget or take out from your mind. Open source is all about you. You have to come in. You have to tell your problem. You have to tell yourself and introduce yourself that I know nothing. Even if you tell this, you will be accepted, you will be acknowledged, you will be appreciated, you will be motivated. Let me tell you, even if you tell this, where do you have to tell this? Of course, there's a communication platform that every open source organization has, whether it is mailing list, Slack channel, Discord, whatever they are using. You will be able to get the information from their project pages. Join that communication channel, engage with them, tell them that I don't know anything and I want to contribute. They will tell you how to contribute. Tell them, just go, be frank, be honest with them. And if you are willing to learn, if you are showing them that yes, here this person is willing to learn, this person can go on, they will guide you. They are very empathetic people. They will guide you, they will tell you, they will help you with everything out there. So we were already discussing, actually, we started with open source, and we have already started discussing how to begin with open source. So open source, as I told you, was introduced to me basically formally on in that summit. But not everybody can get this opportunity. I just feel that it is a blessing that happened with me. I got that opportunity. I met people like Ninus, people like Erika Brescia. She's the CEO of GitHub, and but most importantly, whom I met were my friends, Vaibhav, Imadri, and Harshita. Hi, if you all are watching, to all of you. I think these people, and Abnazar as well, Abnazar, Mamta, all these amazing people whom I met there. These people helped me a lot. They changed my outlook toward open source, and they helped me how to begin with open source. So I was far less capable or in technical things or any other things with as far as they were concerned. They were far more knowledgeable. All these people whom I talked about. But the way they helped me, the way they tried to empathize with me, that helped me a lot. So that is what I would also like to tell you. Whenever you are going to an open source project, whenever you are ready to contribute, when you are feeling to contribute, the first thing that you need to do is join the communication channel. Okay, join the communication channel, whatever communication channel it is. It might be, as I told you, it might be mailing list, Slack, whatever it is, and tell them that you know C, tell them that you know C++, tell them that you don't know anything, tell them you just know to write technical documentation, tell them that you know designing. Go and tell them. They will accept you. They will tell you that come, I will tell you how you will can contribute in this part of the project. And let me also create one common misconception that people have, that you need to know the entire code base. Well, nobody knows the entire code base of any open source project. It is humanly impossible to know and to have that entire code base in your mind, or to understand the entire code base. Don't let perfectionism hold you. That is a wrong thing, Nobody can be perfect. It's perfectly fine to be imperfect. Okay? So it's perfectly fine if you are imperfect, and if you don't start. Beginning is the most difficult thing. Okay, once you begin, there's no going back. Let me be honest in this. Okay, and I begin, if you talk about specifically about Google Summer of Code, I began contributing, or I began connected with my organization as back as in February 2020. Those who have read my blog, and if they are watching, I have clearly mentioned that don't follow me, because I I took a risk. I took a risk because I was still a little unsure. I was going for the Smart India Hackathon preparation, and then some people again said that you should do internship rather. Google Summer of Code is not enough. People don't get jobs after Google Summer of Code. So I was getting confused, but later on clarity came, maturity came, and it's still coming, and I'm still learning, and we all will learn, of course. So I decided, and I started in February. If you talk about me, but if you are willing to contribute to Google Summer of Code, you should start now. You should start contributing. Don't wait for November, December. Those people, they help you with the strategies. But I feel that even if you begin right now, if you begin from tomorrow, from today, contribute to any project. It's not need to be that you should contribute to a project that has participated in Google Summer of Code. That is a different thing. Contribute to any project of your liking, whatever project. There are thousands of projects on GitHub. And if you can't find, search. I will give you my own project to contribute to. Okay, so that is a very simple project, in fact. So beginning with open source is very easy. It's not that big as you have kept in your mind. It's just about how you can communicate, how you can communicate yourself. Don't be shy from introducing yourself or telling that I don't know anything. Tell them that I don't know anything and I want to contribute. They will help you out. That is what open source is all about. Okay. Now this is what I'm going to talk about more. Today we are not going to discuss skills. We are going to discuss strategy. Why? Well, skills is a very general kind of relative thing. My skills might be different, your skills might be different. Everybody has different skills, and everybody uh, is actually help sharpening them and improving them. But that is a thing that I don't know. Huh? I don't know what your skills are, neither you know what my skills are. Most of the people don't know about it. And so for me to comment out that you try this project or you try out that project, begin with that open source project, that is a thing that I think I might not do well, and it will be cheating with you as well. So I feel that let's discuss about strategies. What should be your strategy? That is the thing that I think matters the most, but most people don't pay attention. We don't discuss about the strategies. We don't discuss the mindset. We start with the project. We start with coding. Even when you are coding, most of the people, including me, I also just started with it. Without any plan in mind, you start with doing things. That is the thing that you might become successful, but there are more chances of failure there if you don't start things without strategies. So strategy is very important. What should be your strategy? I'm not going to tell you about the strategy how to crack GSoC, because I'm not going to tell you about today how to crack GSoC. That is also a word that I don't like. And in fact, I must tell you, I will be honest, even I used that word in my first year, how to crack GSoC. But that is the thing that is irony with this. Okay? You don't need to crack GSoC. You don't need to crack Google somewhere. I will come later to that. In fact, that is a part of strategy as well. So let's discuss about strategy, and then we will come why I've been saying that you should not crack Google Summer. The first and the foremost strategy that you should have, that going when you are trying to do something, whenever you are trying to achieve something, have this mindset called beginner. Be a beginner. No matter how much knowledge you acquire, no matter how much wisdom you have gathered, no matter how skilled you think you are, but always, my dear friend, uh, uh, consider yourself a beginner. Why? Why I'm saying this? When you are a beginner, when you feel that you are a beginner, you will feel that you are you are learning. You will be curious. You will always be willing to learn, And the day you consider yourself that I have now acquired the knowledge and now I can just show off and I can just go on with the thing that yeah, I know the things now. That day when you will, that is the day when you will become complacent. Okay, things will not work out in the same magical way as they were used to work earlier. So I feel, and it is my personal feeling and it's my personal opinion, but I feel that this should be a strategy for almost everyone. If you are specifically in this field as well, you should have this mindset that I'm a beginner. I still feel that I'm a beginner and I'm learning from you right now. Even when you are listening right now, even when I'm speaking right now, I'm revising things in my mind. When I'm telling you what I'm telling you, I have to, what I'm preaching to you, I have to practice it as well. So that is what the most important thing is. Have this kind of mindset. Beginner. Be a beginner. No matter what, be a beginner. Okay. And when you are a beginner, that learn it all attitude that I'm talking about, you will automatically have that learn it all attitude. Okay, so the first strategy that I talked about is that you should have a beginner mindset. The second thing that I'm going and that I lay emphasis a lot on is that you should be a learn it all person and not a know it all person. You know, a know it all person will usually be a toxic person. You know, they might, you know, discourage you. They will be people who will be jealous of you, who will be not happy with your achievements, who will not help happy with your growth, because they think that they know it all. How can that person know it all? So that is what the problem with know it all person people is. How can that person grow? How can that person be better than me? Why not? Let's help each other grow. If that flower is growing in that garden, why should not another flower grow? Will the garden not become more beautiful then? Does the flower stop that flower from growing? How will that garden look when you where you will have just one flower? Tell me. How will that garden look? Well, that will be not my garden for sure. This world is nothing but a garden, in fact, and we are all flowers and we need to grow together. That grow together type of feeling, that is what the USP of open source is. You know, when we talk about open source, we have to grow together. We cannot pull each other down. By pulling each other down, we cannot grow. And we will pull each other down only if we have this kind of know it all kind of mindset. Shed away this kind of mindset, even if you have. Okay, we are all learners, we are all growing. This is another strategy that I want to talk to you about. Learn it all. Okay, now another strategy, and this strategy is specifically because you want to contribute to Google Summer of Code, you want to contribute to Hacktoberfest, you want to contribute to other many amazing programs, and why not? They are of course prestigious, and they also give you good stipend. Okay, and good rewards, and are a fabulous thing on the resume. But what should be your strategy when you are aiming for Google Summer of Code for any other such program? Your strategy should be to contribute. Okay, your strategy should not be to become a Google Summer of Code student. Yes, I'm talking this. This is a very unpopular opinion. Okay, your aim should not be that I want to become a Google Summer of Code student. Your aim should be that I want to contribute to Google Summer of Code project. Both are different things. Okay, I'm not going to speak what you are here to listen. Today I'm going to speak what you deserve to listen. Okay, so what you deserve to listen is this, that don't keep that thing in your mind that you are here to actually, you know, I'm going to contribute. I'm going to become a Google Summer of Code student. No, you are here to contribute. You are here to collaborate. You are here to help your peers as well. Okay, so have this beautiful thing in your mind. I am here to contribute. I am here to learn. I am here to help open source communities grow. Okay, you are helping an open source community grow. You are helping a large project that is going to be used by millions of people around the world. You are helping that project grow, even if that project requires you to improve a typo. You are helping. You are making it more accessible. So don't shy away even with documentation, even with contribution in documentation or even a simple typo fix. You have immensely helped thousands and millions of people. That feeling of empowerment should be in your mind, and that feeling of empowerment gives you more happiness than even that stipend. Stipends are important, stipends should be given. Okay, but what will keep you more satisfied, more happy? Well, you will contribute to a project that is helping thousands of people. It is helping millions of people. That is going to be used in NASA. Like my project is going to be used in NASA. So that feeling that when I have that in mind, my project is going to be used in NASA rovers, NASA Mars rovers orbiter. The happiness, the bliss that you get, that I have contributed to such an immense project. That feeling moves away from me, that feeling called that I have been a GSoC student. Okay, so now if you are going to be a Google Summer of Code 2021 student, your aim should be to contribute to open source communities, no matter that project has been chosen or not. We are going to discuss about it soon or later. But first and the foremost thing, your strategy, the three strategies that I discussed about. You should have a beginner mindset, you should have a learn it all attitude, and the third thing that you should have this aim of contributing. You should not have that aim that I'm going to win Google Summer of Code. You can't of course win. It's not a competition. That is the most important thing. And that is why I'm saying that you cannot crack Google Summer of Code. Okay? Let's come to the point which you all want to hear. What is Google Summer of Code and why you should not crack it? I think I've already been telling about it. Google Summer of Code is an amazing, amazing program that Google introduced for students like you, me, and for the projects to grow big, to empower the students, to empower, to make them, help them get introduced to the world of open source technologies. Why open source communities are important, that that feeling should come into the minds of students. Google, with Google Summer of Code program, exactly did that. And it not only did that, it also pays a very good stipend for your contributions. If you are working hard, if you are contributing to a project, you should earn. You deserve to earn. You deserve to have a stipend as well. Okay. So Google offers you a $3,000 stipend here in India. The stipend varies for different countries depending on the economic conditions. Okay. So here in India, you are offered $3,000 stipend, and it is huge amount. And that is one of the reasons. I'll be practical enough. Of course, you have that reason in your mind that I will be earning $3,000 as well. But what should be your strategy? As I told earlier, your strategy should be to contribute to Google Summer of Code project. Okay, you are going to contribute to Google Summer of Code 2021, and that strategy alone will let you achieve Google Summer of Code as a byproduct. Okay, let this come as a byproduct. This should not be your aim. Okay, when you aim to contribute to open source, Google Summer of Code will be a byproduct, a natural byproduct. You will automatically achieve it. You will get it. You have that. You have everything in your mind. Everything is there. Everything is here in your mind. If you have clarity, you can do anything. Okay. So what is Google Summer of Code? I think I told you it's Google Summer of Code, the outer structure of the program. Now, how to begin with it? What is it? What is the timeline? And uh, what are strategies specific to Google Summer of Code? We'll discuss next. And I told you, I think, why you should not crack it. Google Summer of Code is not a competition. Okay. And because it is not a competition, it cannot be cracked. Okay. So don't use this word. I will request you that don't use this word called I will be cracking Google Summer of Code. It's not IIT JEE examination that you will crack. It's about helping, it's about collaborating, it's about communicating, it's about community. So if it's about community, it's about growth. You cannot crack that thing. Okay, crack is a very negative word. You can help that thing grow. You will help grow Google Summer of Code. Even if you want to tell that I want to be a Google Summer of Code student, say that I want to grow with Google Summer of Code. I want to help this project grow. I want to grow. I want to learn. So when you will have this kind of mindset, that changes everything. Mindset is very important. If you have a proper mindset, things will happen on their own. And if you have the negative mindset that I'm here to crack, you will give yourself anxiety, you will give yourself pressure, and that will create a tougher path for you. But if you have a mindset that yeah, I'm enjoying the process, I'm living the process, I'm in a state of bliss, I am contributing. And even if I don't know I'm contributing in technical things and designing things, that is enough. That is enough. Uh, this is a timeline of Google Summer of Code that I faced. The timeline can vary for 2021, but usually mostly the timeline remains the same. Okay, so what happened, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about the timeline and how and when you should start the real uh, the contributions that you think that can help you with your help your growth with Google Summer. So the first and foremost thing, that Google in itself is not your employer. Okay, take this thing out of your mind, that Google is employing you. It's not your direct employer. It's an it's like an umbrella, you can say. Google, okay, it is holding other organizations, other open source organizations. Okay, and these open source organizations are basically uh, organizations whose projects you will be working on. You will not be directly working on a Google project. You will be working on the project of an organization. Okay, and that organization is actually comes out from us only. Okay, every year organizations apply for being accepted as a Google Summer of Code project. So before even the student applies, before even we apply, before for being a mentee, it is the project which has to apply. Okay, it is the organization which has to apply. So there are organizations like Force Asia, MIFOS, RTMS. There are many other organizations. In the GitHub repository, I've shared you a few important links, and they will help you. That, you know, first thing is that organization. You have to choose your organization, and choosing an organization may go wrong in this sense, that your organization that you have been collaborating, you have been working with, might not be selected, because Google might not like the project this time. They might want to give an opportunity to a newer project. So it might happen that you chose Force Asia, you started contributing all through from September to December, and it might happen like it happened this year, that Force Asia is not selected. That is the thing that can be demotivating. But of course, you should not stop there, because you have already been in the open source world. You have already been contributing. Okay, so the organizations which are announced on 20th of February, like they were announced this year, they might be announced another day, next this year, in the coming year. Don't fall back for this thing that my organization was not selected, and don't get depressed and don't get sad that my organization is not selected. Ab to mera GSoC ya, मैं नहीं करता हूँ GSoC. Stop that kind from a thing on yourself, because that again comes from this mindset that I have to crack GSoC. Okay, if you have that mindset of contributing to GSoC, being a GSoC student, being growing with the GSoC community and with other organizations, you will never have that thing in mind. You will in fact say that, okay, whatever the organizations are, no matter which organization is accepted, if I can, if I have, because I have been contributing to open source, they will look into this aspect for sure, that he is an enthusiast, he is a learner, he has been contributing to open source, and so yes, of course, he can contribute to even our project, and they will welcome, they will definitely welcome you. So don't think this thing come to your mind that my organization is not selected, or the organization that I've been planning to work with this year is not selected. Let this thing not stop you. If you have contributed to any other organization, tell them that I have contributed to this organization. Now, sir, madam, whatever, I want to contribute to your project. I know these skills, and even if you don't know the skills of their project, tell them that I don't know these skills. It's okay, perfectly fine. Tell them. Okay, they are empathetic people, they love you, they will help you to come with your skills. Okay, they will help you grow with your skills, and they will guide you properly from your proposal. When to the day of proposal is accepted, they will help you also even with the coding part, with the project, how to implement that project. Okay, so they are very helpful people. So this is the timeline. Organizations are announced. After that, student application period is the most crucial period. Okay, so if you are applying as a for Google Summer of Code student, I think this period of student application period is the most important period. Try as much possible to communicate with your mentors, with your organizations. Okay, keep that conversation on. And what should you talk? You should talk about your proposal. Okay, it's not at all it's a very normal thing actually. Okay, just ask them about the templates that they use for the proposal. Ask them, they might be using a template. Okay, like my organization also had a specific template. I followed that template for my proposal, and each and every day, even before 16th of March, I started preparing my proposal, and each and every day I refined my proposal more and more with the help of my mentors. Mentors guided me that you should remove this part from your proposal. You should try to have this kind of approach. Okay, mentors will help you in each and every step. Okay, so just have calm and be patient and ask for help. Never be afraid to ask from help. Okay, ask your mentors, ask your organization that I need help even in my proposal, in refining my proposal. Can you tell me, will this idea work? Am I going the right way? Am I thinking the right way? Proposal is basically, you have to tell you how will you be implementing the project, and they can be different, very much different actually, than what you actually implement. It happens most of the time, so don't worry even about that. Just be honest with your work. Be honest, be tell what you are planning to do, what you are planning to do. It has to be a little detailed. You have to tell about it. Your organization might say that you have to tell week wise details, you have to tell period phase wise details, whatever your organization prefers. You have to prepare your proposal according to that. Okay, so just prepare a proposal. Tell what you are planning to do, tell what you don't know, tell what you know, tell how will you be implementing this project. Okay, and when you will be engaging with your mentors, when you will be engaging with your community, and when they will see that yeah, this person is taking interest in it, your half of the job is already implemented. They will have that thing in mind. The mentors will have that thing in their mind that this person is interested. Okay, and because this person is doing so much of hard work, and because this person has done so much of research work and is already contributing, and even if you are don't contributing, it's fine. My first contribution came in April, that's after the student application period. So I'm a living example that I did not contribute. I was not able to contribute much actually. Uh, so I was just engaged with the mentors. I was regularly engaging with the mentors. I was communicating with them properly. I was telling them, asking them for the task that they have given. My mentors, my organization had a little bit different kind of things. You have. I was asked to perform certain tasks so that they will test it out that whether I can go ahead or not. So it depends on the organization, as I say. Your organization might be different. They have different things for you. So just ask your organization, ask your mentors what they need. What are the things that you need to look when you are aiming, when you are trying to be Google Summer of, when you are trying to grow with Google Summer of Code. So that is the thing. Student application period is a very important period. Refine your proposal. Ask for help from your mentors, from your peers, from ex Google Summer of Code students. Ask them, reach out to them, tell them that I have written this kind of proposal. Will this work? Ping them. Okay, don't be afraid to keep on pinging them. Okay, after 31st of March, your that is after the student application period, your task should not end here. Okay, you should start even more engagement. You should start even more communication in your communication channel. Okay, they might be your mailing list, Slack channel, whatever. Start more and more communication. Don't go into a period of silence after this. Many people do this mistake that they submit a proposal and they feel happy that my task is done. Now I will be accepted. No, no, my dear friend, don't live in that kind of dream. Okay, you have to contribute. You have to continuously engage. Tell them that you are interested. Let them know. Play psychologically. Okay, if you learn this thing called playing with the psychology of the other person, you are very much in control of what the other person might do. Okay, so that is what psychology is all about. That is what mindset is all about. So, and mind you, for this you have to be empathetic and learn it all attitude kind of person. You cannot you cannot overpower any other person, but you can of course empower the other person. And you are in fact empowering the mentors when you are as a student telling them that I am doing this, I am doing that, I am doing that. It creates an impression in the mind of even mentors that this person is knows so much, this person is researching, this person is working hard, so this person deserves to be a Google Summer of Code student. So not don't let that impression that you have earned through all your hard work in these months die after during the application review period. Okay, don't make it a dormant period. Be active, stay active, regularly engage, regularly contribute. Find typos if you can't contribute to any project. Here's the thing that I'm going to tell you. It's a very secret thing that I'm going to tell you. Typos, finding typos is very easy. Okay, how? Go to the documentation, copy the documentation, paste it in your Google Doc. Okay, paste it in a Google Doc, and you will get the spelling mistakes. Let me tell you, there will be thousands, there will be hundreds of spelling mistakes. There are many spelling mistakes, or in fact, grammatical mistakes. So if you are helping, if you want to help, if you're thinking that I cannot contribute to code, I don't know how to contribute, just copy paste the documentation or readme file or whatever file that you see that there is technical content, technical written content there. You will find typos there. Okay, and typos are very easy to find. You have to just copy and paste them into Google Doc or your Microsoft Word. Okay, and you will get that underline red underline things. But yeah, they are typos. Okay, so just go and ping your mentors that I have found this typo here. I was going through this documentation, so I want to fix it. Okay, so just tell them that you want to fix it, and they will be more than happy. Now come here, let's fix it. Fix the typo documentation. Okay, my first contribution were actually typo. I fixed a few typos, and I fixed typo like this one. So I copy pasted that documentation. I found many errors, many spelling errors. So that is the way you can begin with it. Okay. After this, if the luck and your contributions did enough things for you, you will be accepted as a Google Summer of Code student. You will now be ready to contribute to the project. You will be engaged in community bonding period, and then you will begin with the coding part. So that is a different journey at all. But that is what the Google Summer of Code timeline is. And let me tell you, don't crack it, okay? Contribute, start contributing to any project you like, okay? Next thing, this is a very important thing that I want to tell you. Google Summer of Code archives. This should be your page if you are aiming for Google Summer of Code student 2021. Why I'm saying, because this will help you with the research work, helping you with choosing your organization. Like your skills are in Python, your skills are in C++. Just go and search for the projects related to C++, Python, HTML, JavaScript, whatever you are interested in, whatever your skills are. Okay, go and search, and these archives will help you to let you know about the history, the pattern of how organizations have been selected throughout these years from 2005. So from it will give you a lot of help in doing the research work. So this page is very important page. Try to begin your research work from here. It will help you even with the choosing the right organization for your contributions. Okay, so what is the next thing? The next thing that I want to talk to about is that Google Summer of Code is not just the only thing. Okay, there are many other programs that you can choose and you can contribute and you can earn. Okay, and they pay even, in fact, some of the programs pay even more than Google Summer of Code. Like Outreach program, if I'm not wrong, pays $5500, $5,500 plus $500 stipend to for a conference if you want to attend a conference. So that is a huge amount, and you are also contributing to open source at the same time. Outreach program is an amazing example of how diversity and inclusion are, uh, which are the basic foundations of open source community, have been implemented, and it is specifically for the our female audience. So if you are interested uh, in contributing, and if you are saying that I'm just not want to try my luck for Google Summer of Code, I want to try out other programs, or it is very much possible that you might not be accepted in Google Summer of Code 2021. Let's be very practical. Or you want to have a safer option, you want to contribute to other projects as well. I think these are also amazing programs that you need to check out. Community Bridge Mentorship Program. It is another amazing program by Linux Foundation. So what happens is Community Bridge Mentorship is also, it's just like Google Summer of Code. They are projects you have to and every project, every organization has a different task. It's just like Google Summer of Code. The name is different. Okay, you have to submit those tasks. You have to contribute, and you are selected. Most of the things happen the same. If I get time, I will show you the links as well. Okay, and Hacktoberfest is coming. It's just in October, so it will help you on with a T-shirt. It will help your projects to grow. If you are a maintainer, even you should try out your luck there, because your projects will grow, because many newcomers, many new people like me, in fact, even I was not able to get a Hacktoberfest t-shirt last year because I did not know how to create a pull request and merge it. Yes, that happened with me in October. In fact, I asked my friends in JSS, I kaise karte hain, how to do it. So I was not able to contribute in Hacktoberfest last year. I was not able to create even a pull request till this time last year. And today, right now, I am helping you to learn about open source. So that is what open source is. Such kind of transformation has been brought in just few months. But I feel that everybody has his own timeline. Everybody has her or his own style of learning. So take your own time. Okay, you don't need to hurry. You don't need to be in a competition. It's not a competition. Take your own time. Take your own pace. Just enjoy the process. Okay. And there's another. If you are a technical writer and if you are not at all interested that I don't want to contribute in coding, but I'm excellent in writing. Okay, then there is also GSoC. It's not just GSoC. There is also GSoC, Google Season of Docs. So if you don't want to contribute in coding projects, if you just want to write and write and write, and I'm going to try it out next year, most probably. This is a technical writing kind of open source program that will help the projects whose documentation is still improving or they want it to grow better. These organizations apply, just like in Google Summer of Code organizations apply. These organizations apply, then these organizations are accepted, and then comes a period for the students to apply. Okay, so it's almost a similar process. The only thing is that here you have to contribute in technical writing. You have to write documentation for them, and this program also gives you $3,000 as stipend, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so all these programs are amazing programs. So it's not just Google Summer of Code. Okay, so have your focus more in contributing to open source rather than focusing in just about one program or one open source program. As I told you, there's not Google Summer of Code. There are many amazing other programs. Community Bridge, Outreach, Hacktoberfest, Google Season of Docs. And I have given a GitHub repository link, I think. Go and check it out, that repository. You will have all these links to these programs. You will also have links to the blogs that will help you get started with these programs. Okay. The final thing that I want to tell you all, coding is important, but communication is a must. I feel that coding is something that you are doing. Obviously, if you are a computer science engineering student, or even if you are not, these days, whatever branch you are, your coding is like English or maths. You have to learn it. People are learning even from their school. However, I find it a little bit irrational for 10-year-old, for a 9-year-old to just get infused with this dream called become a Bill Gates, become Amazon's CEO. I'm forgetting his name. My God, what was his name? Such as the talk, I forgot even his name actually. I'm sorry for that, but no matter what, just try to learn things. Okay, coding is important, but communication is a must. Okay, if you are there, if you are coding, it's okay, it's perfectly fine. But what is the most important thing? Communication. Learn to communicate with your mentors, with your organization, with your peer, with everyone. Okay, keep the communication going, and you will be successful contributor to open source. Okay, just tell them where the problem you are facing. If you are stuck in some coding problem, tell them. Don't keep the problem to yourself. Okay, don't keep the problem that I will be able to solve it on my own. That again comes from know it all mindset. Have a learn it all mindset. Learn from anywhere. Okay, so if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me here. This is my LinkedIn profile, Twitter profile, GitHub profile. I've given the links to all of them, and I think we are reaching to the conclusion of this short informal talk. I know that it was not technical, but it must have helped you come out with the strategies, and at least removing that fear that you have for open source, that even I had. Open source projects can bring fear because they have large code bases, but don't need to be afraid of them actually. Okay, they are people who are the most helpful people out there. Okay, so if you are ready to help, if you are ready to get help, if you are ready to ask for help, you will be helped, you will get the help. Okay, so I will find time if I can show you with the links, but I think so uh, I have already taken up 1 hour, so I will be now answering your questions. Okay, so I would like to say thank you so much for listening me, and I would also request you to stay safe and stay healthy. Okay, so I will now be requesting the people uh, to ask if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, and I have shared the GitHub repository. Okay, I've shared the GitHub repository that will help you to see about what this uh, talk was all about, as well as it has the links for the programs that you are willing to apply. Okay, just don't have this thing in mindset that you want to become a Google Summer of Code student. Again, I'm saying because I receive these messages. Huh? Keep keep this mindset of growing, of learning. Okay, and you will achieve whatever you want. Thank you so much. Yeah, Jeff Bezos. Thank you, Ishan. Feel free to ask any doubts if you have. Well, that's a really nice question, Dipanshu. And I feel that open source contribution do molds a student's career. Let me tell you how. See, usually students either run for startup internships, internship in a startup, or internship in a big organization, and both are totally different experience. If I let me tell you, in a very big organization, your learning curve might not be that great because that is a very huge organization. Okay, so your job might not be that much uh, enjoyable because you might be working on something that is existing, something that is already there, something that doesn't require much of your technical expertise, because in a bigger organization most of the things are already worked out, most of the things are already well placed. Okay, so you usually don't have to come out that much out of your comfort zone. I'm not saying that it's a very easy job, it's of course difficult job. So if you want to work, if you are planning to do an internship in a big company, in any company, whether it's Microsoft, any other company, farm, or even the companies that you don't consider farm. Okay, so whatever company you are trying to apply for internship, if it is a big organization, it is very much possible that you might not be learning things like that in such an amazing way. Well, if you are working in a startup, then your learning curve will be very high. You will be learning a lot of things. You will be just coming out of your comfort zone, and you will be giving yourself new boundaries to push. Open source is the intersection startup as well as your this big company tag. Why I'm saying so? Because startup usually are not organized places. They are not organized. You have different kind of environments. You have to cope up with different kind of environment there. Okay, and you that might not be the best place to work for a new student, because startup themselves usually are not organized. But of course you have all the time to learn amazing things, because startup, that means you are doing things from scratch, you are doing things on your own, and you don't have much of the resources. While at the same time, in a company things are organized, but of course then there is not that much of learning. Open source is a very best example of an intersection of both, because here the mentors are very very knowledgeable, they are expert in the domain, and as well as the thing that you are building when you are contributing to open source project is kind of unique. You have the opportunity to learn and push your boundaries, because most of the things when you are contributing to open source don't exist. You are creating new things, so you are actually working in a startup environment in a big organization. So it is an intersection of both. So when you are contributing to open source, if you have time, if you are still having some time, I will definitely request you, Dipanshu, to try out and try begin contributing to open source, because you will get that corporate culture, you will get the idea of that corporate culture in a very empathetic way. Corporate culture, in fact, might not be that empathetic. That company you are going to work as an intern might not be that empathetic, but your open source organization will be empathetic. It will help you grow, it will help you guide. So that is why open source contributions matter, because open source contribution is not just about your contributions, it's about being accepting your acceptance your acceptance into an organization, into a very big organization, into an organization of expert people, the best people in the industry. I hope that answers your question, Dipanshu. Thank you so much for asking.
Uh, okay, you were great. So let me come to the next question.
Yeah.
How open source helps in commercial sector?
uh, Open source in commercial sector. Well, I feel that commercial sectors means things that are uh, marketed or being buying, the things that are being bought and sold. So when you talk about commercial sector, they are almost your entire commercial world is running on Linux. Linux is an open source project. The TV that is installed in my home, the Android that you might be using, where is it coming from? You have the Linux kernel there, you have Linux there, and tell me a bigger project, bigger open source project than Linux. So I think that answers your question, that how open source is helping in commercial sector. So I just gave you one example of Linux. Okay. In fact, RTMS, the organization that I contributed to, it is helping the commercial military world, because in beamline research or in missiles, you require real-time operating systems for precision. So RTMS is being used there. It is a free and open source technology, and in fact, many other beamline researching institutes or agencies like NASA and even military organizations whose name we are asked not to reveal, even they use. Even the army uses RTMS. So open source is very helpful as far as commercial sector is concerned. It is your entire trade exchange also uses open source. So of course, open source is helping a lot in commercial sector. It is also helping in employment because you are getting not only well versed with skills, but also you are connecting with the mentors. And mentors are people nothing, but they also have, but they must also be having some kind of jobs. They might also be working in Google. I have seen many people who work in Google, but who are active contributors in the Linux project. So if you are contributing to Linux kernel, and if you get connected with your mentor, and that mentor is from Google, so of course you get an opportunity to get a referral from that mentor to Google. So that in that way, even that way, open source is helping.
Amazing answer. Okay, coming to the next question. For a beginner, what is the best open source project to start with?
Well, that is a very relative question, Khushbu. I really appreciate that you asked that question. But I can answer it for myself. I cannot answer it for you because I don't know what your tech stacks are. I can say that for me, this project was easy. I can say for some other person that project was easy. So it depends on your skills. It depends on what you have learned, on what your what you are trying to learn. If you have learned nothing, if you know nothing, that any project, let me tell you, any project is the best open source project to start with because all the projects, the entire talk talked about that you are accepted even if you don't know anything. So even in that entire process, if you plan to contribute to any project, choose any project of your choice. Let me give you a task, okay? Go and research, choose any open source project. You have asked for the best open source project, no? Choose any project of your choice, Khushbu, okay? I don't know what your skills are, okay? But if you know about your skills, well and better. But if you don't know even of your skills, Khushbu, just keep that thing called skills aside, okay? Go and choose any open source project. Connect with the communication channel. Tell them either about your skills, the skills that you know, or tell them that you don't know anything. Okay, wait for their response, see what they respond. Okay, that project will be the best project for you. That project will be the best project for you because that project, if you know your skills, you will be contributing, they will be helping you to contribute. Even if you don't know, okay, and you choose that project, whatever that project is, okay, I don't know about that project. If you choose that project, and if you tell them that I don't know about it and I want to contribute to this project, okay, but I don't know how to start, where to start, please help me, please guide me. They will give you the documentation, follow them, what they say, try to engage them, try to take the hints from them, okay, and that project will become the open source project to start with you. And if you find no one, you have my project, I have given the link, okay, in that GitHub repository you will find my project. That is also an open source project which I will be creating a lot of issues because I have found many issues in there, okay, and they are very genuine issues, not just like deliberately created issues so that you can contribute. They are very genuine issues, and I will invite you, Khushbu, that if you want to contribute, you can contribute to my project as well. I will be ready to help you to get started with it because it is a very small project right now, but we are planning with your help, with help of amazing people like you, we are planning to help it grow big. Okay, so you are welcome to join. You are welcome to join even my project if you are willing to contribute to. And ping me on Twitter or LinkedIn if you have any other queries about that project. Okay, and what task I have given to you, I think that task will answer you which is the best open source project to start with. Thank you so much,
Great.
Khushbu.
Okay.
Mm. Uh,
What skills do I need to contribute
uh,
to the GSoC?
Dipali, thank you for asking this question. The most important skill is communication. Most important skills. I don't know. You might be good in C plus plus. I did not have any skill actually. I am a very bad web developer, person who could not do anything even in Mobile development. So these are the two major things that people look for in Google Summer of Code, either web development or Android development, or after that what comes is machine learning. I'm not even good in that, to be honest. But the thing that I'm good is in communication and helping people. I think that is the most important thing a Google Summer of Code student should have. And you have to communicate well. You have to contribute. If you have to contribute, you need to communicate. I had the skill in C, I had the skill in C++, I had the skill in Python. So I researched about the projects. I found that RTMS is something which I can start, which I can begin with it. So I started engaging with the mentors and they helped me out, they helped me grow. So what skills do you need to contribute to GSoC? Your existing skills are enough, okay? And if you are planning to learn something new, you have all the time to even learn, okay? You have all the time because it's just September. So even if you're learning web development, Android development, keep on learning just one thing, okay? Don't clutter your mind with learning everything, you know. It's okay. You should have. I've heard from Tanay Pratap. He is an amazing person, and I hope you all must be knowing about Tanay Pratap. He is a senior engineer in Microsoft, and he's quite active in Twitter and LinkedIn. So he talked about T-shaped learning. So what I understood of T-shaped learning is that you should, of course, learn things, but one thing you should learn in depth, and then you should not stop. You should keep on learning. So that is what T-shaped learning is. Okay, so you should keep on learning. One thing you should learn in depth. You should then don't stop. You should go ahead and learn more. So that is what that makes a T-shape. Okay, so that is what is actually it's all about. You should have a T-shape kind of learning. So whatever you are learning, Dipali, you are enough. You are right now. If I'm sure you are listening to me, I think you are already skilled enough to contribute to GSOC because you have asked this question. So you can communicate. You can communicate your queries. So you are already skilled to contribute to GSOC. I hope that answers your question, Deepali. Thank you so much.
Okay. So the next question, what are the other good platforms to contribute other than GSoC?
Hi Anjali, you don't need platforms. You just need to find a project. Okay, you just need to find a project. And what is the best way to find a project? As I suggested, you can go to the archives if you are not able to find. Okay, archives is the best place for the previous organizations as well as for the projects that they have. Okay, and just go and research a little bit there about the projects and go to their GitHub repository. Okay, if they have hosted their project in GitHub, it is very much possible that they might have hosted their project on GitLab, on any other uh, repositories service. So just go and research about the project, okay? And as such, I said that there's no need for a platform to contribute. You just need to find a good communication channel. The first thing is that you need to find the communication channel your organization is using. It might be a mailing list, it might be a Slack channel, it might be a Discord, it might be anything, it might be an IRC. So ask them what are they using. Mail them, mail the mentors, what are you using and how where I can contribute to. Because again, it is a very different thing. You know, Kubernetes has a different platform, Linux has a very different platform. If you are contributing to Linux, all the contributions happen over mails. You know, millions of codes is being handed only through mails, and that too text mails, not even HTML. You cannot contribute to Linux using Gmail. Okay, you have to use MUT. You have to use a text-based email client. So while I was contributing to Linux kernel, I was using MUT. That was a text-based client. So every organization, every project has a very different kind of platform. So GSoC is not a platform; it's a program. So it's a program where you contribute. Again, that is an outcome of your contribution. If you are talking specifically about platforms, then I will suggest you to go to the archives. First step, go to the archives, search for the previous projects, and go to their GitHub or Git repository. Okay, and there must you will find the communication channel. Ask them how what platform are they using. They are using GitHub only. Then go ahead, find the existing issues or create a new issues. Ask them about the project. Keep on contributing.
All right. Next question. Ishan Bora asks, do you think that GSoC is overrated?
Chan, I don't think so that GSoC is overrated. However, people uh, have started using it in the wrong way, and that was the reason behind this talk. I wanted to this remove this thing called cracking GSoC. If you are thinking that you are going to crack Google Summer of Code, then I think that thought is overrated. You cannot crack. You don't take it as a competition. Okay, just don't think that I have to do it, so this person has to be stopped. If I have to become a Google Summer of Code student, then I have to stop this person. Don't do this because you have to grow. So GSOC will be overrated, Ishan, if you think or if anyone thinks that this is a competition where I have to become a GSOC student. So that kind of attitude should not be there. You should be just a normal student. You should be a contributor. You are a student after all. We are all students after all. We are all learning. We may fail, and if we fail, we are learning. So what stops us from learning? Even failure should not stop us from learning. So GSoC is not at all overrated. It helps you learn. It helps you grow. It helps you give a good stipend. It helps you also get a relevant industrial experience. I'm using the word industry here. However, industry should not be used for open source. But the kind of atmosphere that you have, the kind of working style you have, it gives you that one. As I said, it is a best intersection of startup and an industry and internship. So GSoC is not at all overrated. According to me.
Well said. Okay, next question. How do you learn more about low level projects such as kernel? The learning curve looks very steep for a beginner.
Vinayak, I feel you. I totally agree with you. Actually, it is very steep for me. I will not say it was because I'm still learning, and I think it is still very steep. For kernel projects, I think you will not get enough videos out there on the internet because even I could not find for me. And even if you get, the quality is not good. So, how did I learn? Well, I learned by doing. You know, at times things become easier, or you learn things only when you start to do things. Okay, how will you do things? Documentation, tutorials, and all everything aside, nothing can take the charm of a good documentation. So if you want to work specifically in Linux kernel, the Linux kernel has an amazing documentation and an amazing community. Okay, the thing is that to even take part in that communication channel, you have to start with a text-based email client, and that in itself is a little difficult. However, I have written a blog for it, and uh, I will share the link with you if give me a moment. So that will at least help you set up with a kind of environment that you had to ask questions to them, because you cannot ask questions to them over Gmail. They don't like it, the people in Linux. Okay, so that is why text-based email client is used. So I will be sharing the link. Just wait a minute, and that will help you at least set up with the mail client, and then you can reach out to them as well as you can refer to Linux kernel documentation. Okay, so that those documentations will help you to get started. Start with your hello world kernel project. Okay, it is a very simple module. You have to publish it, and I will be writing a blog very soon, how to get started with Linux kernel Vinay. So stay connected with me on Twitter or on LinkedIn, and you will soon find a blog for how to get started with Linux kernel, as well as it will give you the links for the documentation and everything. In fact, it will help you build your first Linux kernel module as well. So just wait for it. I am little stuck these days with a few important things, so that blog is still in loop, but very soon I will be giving you. Okay, so again I say, Vinayak, I agree with you that the learning curve of any kernel development project, or if you are going to kernel side, it will be difficult. It will be difficult. It will not be easy. I will request you to share the link in the comment section. Uh, the Web Mentors team, I have shared a link. Vinayak, that link will help you get started with setting up your email. Okay, and after that, stay connected with me, and I will help you to reach out with the Linux kernel community, and also uh, will be writing a blog. I will be writing a blog how to get started with Linux kernel. And let me tell you, don't feel afraid of this thought that it has a very it is a very steep learning curve. It is the problem, but it is also the beauty of Linux kernel. It is one of the most thankless jobs that is being done in the world, and there are so many people who are doing amazing things for Linux community. So don't worry about it. We will learn about these low level things, and if you are interested in RTMS and its low level things, then this blog will also give you to my link to you my profile, and that profile has already many blogs related to RTMS and the low level structures that it uses, how to get started with RTMS. So if you want to get started specifically with RTMS, you will definitely let me share with the link for how to get started with RTMS as well. Okay, wait a minute, I'm sharing the link. So that will help you get started with RTMS, because even that is a very low level project, and it's little difficult to get started with it. So I've shared one more blog, and that will help you get started with at least RTMS. RTMS is a real-time operating system, and it is also, as you asked, it is a kernel side project. So it is a low-level project, and again, the learning curve is high. But the first step is installation. And installation and development environment in itself is very difficult. When you start contributing to open source, the first and the foremost thing, the major problem that you face is creating the environment, creating the development environment for that project. Creating the development environment for the project is more difficult than the project itself. Yeah, that is a thing. Okay, but when you have your mentors, when you know how to communicate and tell your problems, you will not find even issues with that, because they will help you, they will guide you. Everybody has set up his or her development environment. No, so it will not be a problem at the end of the day. So don't worry about it, and stay connected with me, and I will surely writing a blog on how to get started with Linux code. Okay, thank you so much.
You are amazing. I think you have delivered your motto in a great manner, and it will surely provide part to many students, I guess. Okay,
Yeah.
Madhav, you can continue.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Sakshi. And
Thank, thank,
I believe, and thanks a lot, Mrityunjay. Like, it was great having you here, and
thank you
the
so much,
mindset
Madhav.
that you have, and the kind of motivation which you provided to the audience, it was really amazing, and I really appreciate that. All right,
Thank you,
guys.
thank you so much.
So this was all
Thank
for
you so much.
today. Yes. So again, this is the last episode for our first season. We will be back again. We'll keep you updated for the people who have filled the form for the updates and for the feedback. So yes, see you in the next session in the next season. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sakshi. Thank you so much, Madhav. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much to the
so much,
audience for.
everyone.
Thank you so much to everyone who listened it. I hope you will take care of your health, and keep learning, keep growing, and keep enjoying. Thank you so much.